So, good morning, students. How are you doing today? I hope you all are good. You all are feeling good. You all are doing great at your home and you are doing your study very well. So, today in this video, I'm going to discuss about your second kingdom, that is Protista. And before going further, just I want to inform you that in the previous session, I uploaded a video that was included with the first kingdom, that was the Monera kingdom. So I discussed the Monera and their subphylum, or we can say groups, we discussed in the previous video. So if you want to watch that video, so you can go to the playlist of my YouTube channel. So and let's get started with this video. So today in this video we are going to discuss about the kingdom Protista, and in this video just we will talk about only what are the characteristics of the Protista kingdom. So just we need to know about the characteristics of the Protista kingdom, okay, in this video. So we will learn only characteristics of the Protista, and then in the next session, in the next video, I will share you some Protista's divisions, okay, not division, but we can say groups. What are the different groups of the Protista, okay? But in the next video, just let's get started with the topics. So as you know, here you can see that is characteristic of the Protista kingdom, and in the previous class, not in the previous class, in the 9th class you studied about the Protista, Monera, fungi or Plantae and Animalia's characteristics. So we will discuss about the Protista characteristics. So you can see here that first characteristic is a protist is a group of eukaryotic organisms. Yes, this is a eukaryotic organisms. That means what is eukaryotic? The organism. What is eukaryotic? You know very well. What is eukaryotic? The cell that has a definite shape, that have a cells that have a definite membrane bound organelles, definite nucleus, okay, you know very well. But if we are talking about the prokaryotic cell, so that cells have a undefined nucleus, that means a primitive nucleus, old nucleus type का जो होता है वो. So eukaryotic क्या होते हैं? जिनका न्यूक्लियस कैसा होता है? मॉडर्न होता है, एडवांस होता है, जो इनके पास मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनल्स होते हैं. सो प्रोटिस्ट क्या है? यूकैरियोटिक ऑर्गेनिजम्स है एंड विच आर नॉट क्लासिफाइड एज ईदर एन एनिमल, प्लांट और फंगस. यस, बिकॉज यहाँ पे मिसलीडिंग्स है कि ना तो ये फंगस है, ना ये एनिमल है, ना ही ये प्लांट है. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर प्लेसिंग इट इन द अनदर किंगडम, यू नो. तो प्रोटिस्टा इसलिए हमने अलग किया क्योंकि ना ही ये प्लांट कह सकते हैं, नॉट वी आर कॉलिंग इट फंगस, वी आर कॉलिंग इट एनिमल. सो ये क्या है? किंगडम प्रोटिस्टा है, जो कि आपको पता है कि ये जो प्रोटिस्टा था, जो कि निकल के आया था, हैकल ने डिस्कवर किया था. द टर्म प्रोटिस्टा और किंगडम प्रोटिस्टा वाज गिवन बाय द हैकल, अर्नस्ट हैकल. सो फिर क्या है? क्योंकि अब ये तो हमें पता चल गया है that Protista, it is not another either animal, plants or fungus. ये तो हमें पता है, but it is a eukaryotic kingdom. Okay, eukaryotic kingdom and unicellular also. Okay, we started with the Monera, that was a unicellular but prokaryotic. But here it is Protista. It is a kingdom where we can find eukaryotic and unicellular organisms. Second characteristic it is the possibly share certain morphological and physiological characteristics with animals or plants or both. Yeah, Protista kingdom has some characteristic, we can say morphological or physiological, but which is similar to the animals as well as plants, or we can say fungus too. Okay, so कुछ characteristic हैं जो कि बिल्कुल उनके जैसी होती हैं. Okay. Next slide is the term Protista typically is used in the reference to a eukaryote that is not a true animal, plant, fungus. That cells of protist have highly organized nucleus and specialized cellular organs. Yes, definitely कि protist जो होते हैं वो eukaryotic तो हैं, but not true type of eukaryotic cell, because animals, प्लांट्स और फंगस में अगर आप देखते हैं तो वहाँ की जो सेल हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ की सेल डिफरेंट सेल्स मिलकर ग्रुपिंग कर लेती हैं एंड देन टिश्यू बना लेती हैं, दैट मेक्स अ टिश्यू। सो यहाँ पर वो चीज़ें नहीं हो रही हैं क्योंकि यूकैरियोटिक है बट नॉट दैट टाइप ऑफ यूकैरियोटिक सेल, ओके, दैट we see in the animals or plant. Okay, the cells of the protists have a highly organized nucleus and specialized cellular organelles. यानी अगर हम सेल्स की बात करें तो इनकी जो सेल है that is a highly organized, having a nucleus, that is a definite nucleus because it is a eukaryotic cell, and specialized cellular organelles. Okay, cellular organelles जो होते हैं वो होते हैं specialized, that means mitochondria और ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. So these are some organelles which are specialized, having a special function. Okay, बात आती है next point, that is some protists have flagella or cilia for locomotion. They inhabit an environment that contains water. Yeah, you can find these organisms which belongs to the Protista kingdom. So you can find in a water, yeah, the area where is the water present. So you can find there, and they have a flagella. They have a cilia or flagella that helps in the movement, that helps in a locomotion, चलने फिरने में जो मदद करती हैं, सरफेस से किसी अटैच होना, किसी के पास जाना. That you have seen amoeba that has a false feet, pseudopodia you can say, and so ये चीज़ें उनमें होती हैं. And paramecium की बात करें, that has a cilia, a flagellum, and euglena that has a flagellum. So ये चीज़ें वहाँ पर देखने को मिलती हैं, so help करते हैं movement. Next point, this is a beautiful picture of euglena. Okay, it is euglena, that is a euglenoids. We will talk about the euglena in the next session, in the next video. It is a characteristic of Protista. Some characteristics are here, like protists are simple eukaryotic organisms. We discussed just a few seconds ago. Eukaryotic cell है, unicellular. Yes, already discussed. Unicellular, that has a single celled organisms like amoeba, like paramecium, euglena. Some are colonial. G, yes. Some protists live in a colony बना लेते हैं. मान लीजिए एक तो 1 2 3 they are living together and so form a colony. एक कॉलोनी बन जाती है जब एक साथ रहते हैं. so colonial भी ये होते हैं, जैसे यूग्लिना है. and some are multicellular like alga, but they do not have a specialized tissue organ. We are talking about the alga in the Protista because they have a multicellular structure but do not have a cellular tissue level organization. That's why we are not placing the alga here. We are talking about only the protists that belong to the Protista kingdom. Okay, most of the protists live in the water. Yes, पानी के अंदर मिलते हैं. Some live in moist soil, गीली जगह पर, damp soil जो होती है वहां पर मिलते हैं. Even in the body of human and plants, बॉडी के अंदर भी मिल सकते हैं because they are pathogenic also, disease causing also. So that's why they are living in the body also of the plants as well as animals. Next point it is like all eukaryotic cells, the protists also possess a characteristic central compartment called a nucleus. जैसे कि और सेल्स हैं यूकैरियोटिक जिसमें न्यूक्लियस होता है वेल डिफाइंड. सो यहाँ पर भी न्यूक्लियस आपको देखने को मिलेगा जो कि जिसके पास न्यूक्लियस है. सो दैट्स व्हाई it has a genetic material, that is a DNA. You know very well what is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. They also have specialized cellular organelles that perform definite functions within the cell. Yes, like mitochondria, that is the powerhouse of the cell that makes the ATP for the cell because the cell needs energy. So mitochondria, ribosome, protein synthesis, endoplasmic reticulum, membrane synthesis, and so on. You know very well what is the function of the ribo and endoplasmic reticulum. The nucleus is membrane bound. Yes, because it is a eukaryotic cell, so that's why nucleus is membrane bound. Nuclei of the Protista contain multiple DNA strands. Yes, you know very well what is the structure of the DNA. If that is a DNA, that is a double helix structure, so that DNA has a multiple strand. Photosynthetic protists, like various photosynthetic, you know very well what do you mean by the photosynthetic, the plants or the organism which can make their food on self, the presence of the sunlight and chlorophyll and so on, so they are also photosynthetic. So जो कि एल्गा आते हैं, डाइटम्स आते हैं, अभी आप देखने वाले यूक्लिना आता है, तो ये उनके पास दे कंटेन द क्लोरोफिल क्लोरोप्लास्ट, दैट्स व्हाई दे कैन परफॉर्म अ फोटोसिंथेसिस. सो यहाँ पर प्रोटिस्ट फोटोसिंथेसिस भी आपको देखने को मिलेंगे, फोटोसिंथेटिक वाले. एंड नेक्स्ट स्लाइड इट इज दे शो movement by flagella. We have already discussed just 2 or 3 minutes ago. मूवमेंट के लिए मदद करते हैं. द मोड ऑफ द न्यूट्रिशन, दैट्स मीन हाउ दे आर टेकिंग देयर फूड, दे डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर्स और दे आर मेकिंग देयर देमसेल्व्स. सो दे आर हेटेरोट्रॉफिक, डिपेंड्स ऑन अदर, you know very well. Autotrophic, they can prepare their food on self because they have a chlorophyll, chloroplast structures, green pigment. And parasitic, they present over the body of the other organisms and they feed on them. So इसलिए वो पैरासाइटिक भी दूसरे के ऊपर रहते हैं, जैसे कि हमारी बॉडी में जा सकते हैं, हमारी बॉडी पर रह सकते हैं प्लांट्स के ऊपर. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर पैरासाइटिक. ओके. मोड ऑफ द रिप्रोडक्शन इन प्रोटिस्ट इज बोथ सेक्सुअल एंड एसेक्सुअल. मेजॉरिटी जो होती है वो इनकी एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन, सो दे फॉलो, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द प्रोटिस्टा फॉलो asexual reproduction rather than the sexual, and they can reproduce by mitosis and some are capable of meiosis for sexual reproduction. Yes, sexual reproduction हो रहा है तो mitosis भी यहाँ पर follow करती है. उसके साथ साथ अगर sexual reproduction है so meiosis, they can also perform meiosis. Next, they form cyst in the adverse conditions. Adverse condition, what do you mean by the adverse condition? Like having a temperature ज़्यादा होता है, कम हो सकता है, ज़्यादा हो सकता है. सो टेम्परेचर के ऊपर या बारिश है, सो दैट मीन्स द एडवर्स कंडीशन. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर मेकिंग, दे फॉर्म अ सिस्ट, लाइक cyst, what is cyst? It is a covering over the body, so they form cyst because if they are living in the adverse conditions. Okay, so when the protozoan parasites are exposed to very harsh conditions during various stages in their life cycle, they form cysts around them. Yes, और अपने चारों तरफ एक लेयर बना लेते हैं ताकि वो उस एडवर्स कंडीशन से बच जाएं. एंड इंसिस्टेड फॉर्म अलाउज टू सर्वाइव इन द एक्सट्रीम कंडीशन. और जैसे ही इंसिस्ट वो बन जाते हैं, सिस्ट बन जाते हैं, कवरिंग बन जाती है, फॉर्म अलाउज देम टू सर्वाइव इन एक्सट्रीम कंडीशन, सो दे कैन लिव इन द एडवर्स कंडीशंस टू. नेक्स्ट, some protists are pathogen. I told you just 2 minutes ago, pathogen, that means, what do you mean by pathogens? Those organisms who can produce disease in the body. Okay, that means in a simple words, disease causing organisms are called pathogens. So pathogen भी ये होते हैं जो कि plants and animals को disease करते हैं, so that's why they are pathogenic organisms. For example, if I talk about the plasmodium, Penicillin causes malaria in human beings. Plasmodium, yes, plasmodium जो कि क्या करता है, मलेरिया करता है. ओके, सो मलेरिया मच्छर से नहीं होता, that is a plasmodium. And this is the last slide. I think we are going at the last grouping of protista. We are going through these 3 terms in the protista. We are dividing protista into 3 groups on a simple basic structures, like animals like a structure of the protista, plants like a structure, और fungus like structure. Means जो कि animals के जैसे characters रखते हैं, so we are calling them like animals like structure. plants वाले जो हैं, जिनमें plants वाले structures हैं, जैसे chlorophyll होता है, so a plant like है and fungus like example, plant like protista क्या होती हैं? So they are autotroph. Because they are autotroph, they can prepare their food on self because they can perform photosynthesis. Okay, and animals like, why we are using animals like protista are there? Because they are heterotrophs and have ability to move, क्योंकि वो move कर सकते हैं, because we can move, so protists also can move because they have a cilia or flagella. And fungus like, because they are heterotrophs, because fungus are heterotrophic, they depends on the other organism for their nutrition. Their cell have cell walls and have the ability to reproduce the forming spores, because वो spores बनाते हैं for their reproduction, for their making a continuity of the organism. So वो form करते हैं spores. So this is the last slide. I hope you enjoy the video. If you enjoy the video, so you can subscribe to my channel, you can share, you can like. So thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.